Shelby. Welcome to Sway TV. I'd like to welcome our guests, Dr. Sofia Adawy and Dr. Ronald Sam.
Hi.
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
My name is Dr. Ronald Sam. I'm a physician, self-employed. I work in a Christ Hospital. I do internal medicine, ER. Been practicing there for about 15 years now. So that's basically what I do.
My name is Sofia Adawy. I'm a family medicine physician at Miles Square Health Center, which is part of UIC. I've been practicing there for 2 years now.
All right. So what are some of the high points of you guys' careers?
So part of family practice is obstetrics, which is delivering babies. And I would have to say every baby I deliver is a new high point. It's a really incredible experience to be a part of such a milestone of a family's experience, and to be the first one to bring that life into the world. It's really amazing.
I think one of the high points for me is just the practice of medicine. I started out as an electronic major back in high school, and a friend of mine introduced me to medicine as a paramedic. So I was a paramedic, and I just got tired of just picking up the patient and just dropping them off in the hospital. I wanted to be able to treat these patients, you know, to see the outcome, to see how they work, and you know, being a physician. So what I did is just went back to school, took some classes at a junior college like Kennedy King, Harold Washington College, and from there went to Loyola, went to medical school. And I think one of the high points is just being able to see the fascinating part of the human life.
What are some steps that you can give us to take to become in a position where you are, both of them?
I would say one of the things that really made a difference for me, particularly when I was even still in high school, was to be as active as possible in all the different extracurricular activities that are available at your school, and try your best to be a part of as many leadership roles within those extracurriculars as you can, because you're going to learn some really valuable skills even at the age that you're at now that are going to take you very far in adulthood. And you'd be surprised, you think it has nothing to do with medicine, and you'll find that those same skills that you're using right now are the same skills that you're going to use whether it's in college, in medical school, or even as a physician out in the field working. I know particularly the south side of Chicago these days is a really rough place, and it can be really scary, and the more that you can be doing productive things away from where the violence is happening in the streets, I think the better off you'll be.
I think the most important aspect is not to get caught up. You know what I mean? A lot of the younger guys, younger people that I work with, especially in the streets, you know, I mean, they get caught up with the wrong crowds, you know, and then they feel like it's cool because these are my boys. You know, we was at the Juvenile Detention Center working with Robert Townsend. You know, he's the actor, producer, and everything else. And, you know, these kids, you know, they had the wrong mindset. You know, they're talking about, well, my boys was looking out for me. But not one of their boys came to see them when they was in the Juvenile Detention Center, you know. And one thing about it, they had the opportunity to wipe their slate clean. You know, don't let your school interfere with your education, you know. What I'm trying to say by that is education is power, is learning to use your mind. You being a minority student, if you don't have that education, you know, you're not going to make it. You're going to get in that cycle of being poor, you know, and then you're going to get more into that criminal type of activity, you know. Get away from that type of crowd.
Who are some people that influenced you guys or played a big role in who you looked up to as role models when you were young?
No, I mean, number one is my mama. You know, that was my backbone. You know, I mean, serious. She was a strong black woman, and she, you know, looked out for me, focused on me, and you know, look, I was not perfect. You know, I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was young. You know, that hasn't, you know what I mean? And from there, she was forgiving, and it was a whole different sense of community when I was growing up as compared to what you guys was growing up to. You know, that helped me out. Another thing that helped me out was this other physician. His name was Dr. Bacon, Cuddy Bacon. He helped me out when I was back in high school. You know, didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, a thug. You know, just hanging out with the friends and everything else. But they took the opportunity to believe in me, man.
I would say I definitely agree. Like my parents, number one, growing up, school was the most important thing. I remember, you know, when you're younger and you don't have homework on weekends, my mom made homework. there was always something that had to be done before I could go play, math problems, books to read, whatever it may be. And as I got older and got, you know, heavier course loads from my classes, that was always a priority. You know, chores and everything else was secondary. My mom was like, listen, you finish your work, and then we could talk about you helping with the dishes or whatever other stuff around the house, but not until you're done with all your work. And, you know, my parents let me participate in a lot of things that a lot of my friends weren't able to do. Their parents wouldn't let them because they wanted me to be the best that I could be, and they wanted me to dream big, and they wanted to do everything that could be done to help me get there. You know, my parents were immigrants. They were born and raised in Egypt. They came here 2 years before I was born. They came here with a suitcase and nothing else. My dad barely spoke English when he came to this country. And to see where they've come from that and, you know, working whatever job they can get just to get by, and now to have, you know, had me, raised me here in a country that they're not familiar with, and for me to have achieved what I have, a lot of that came from the influence that they had on me, that you, when you want something, you work hard for it, and you don't let roadblocks get in your way, because they're gonna show up.
Was there a time when you guys had to use teamwork to get the big project done?
Always. I mean, it's always teamwork now. You know, when a patient comes into the hospital, it's teamwork. You can't do everything by yourself. You know, so if a patient comes in, I might consult infectious disease, or I might consult an orthopedic doctor to fix his bone, or a neurologist, or whatever. It's always a teamwork process. And the main important thing with you guys is that it's a team working together to inspire each other, to motivate you guys to do more. Because you can. You have the ability to do that. And I'm very impressed by, you know, just the teamwork and the camaraderie that you guys have among yourselves. Because you pushing, you want something higher.
I want to take the time out to thank our guests, Dr. Sofia and Dr. Sam, for coming out today. I'm Jarate Shelby, your host. Thanks for tuning in to Sway TV.